doesn't really hit you that you're a slave or even interfere with your existence unless you want to do something with your life. If you want to work at McDonald's your whole life, that's the purpose of a servant. Except for, I mean, shouldn't McDonald's train people not to fucking destroy food? I mean, shouldn't the government come in and like take over their establishment for serving shitty food at overprices? But that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is you don't really, it doesn't matter to anyone, does it? If there's any slave upon the planet, unless they want to be more than a slave. Like if you simply give a slave a few dollars, whip its back every now and then, and tell it to go pick the cotton 8 hours a day and then go back to its house, you paid it some money to go pay for. It's a great life for a slave. It's a beautiful life. I mean, the media has painted that picture too, that a slave is a person who sits there in chains all day and then they get unchained for 8 hours to go pick some cotton, and then they get locked back up in chains for and they stay out. So they live outside under the sun, which, I mean, what, 1/3 of the population wants to go live outside under the sun anyways. So how is that even evil to these humans who think dirt and trees are awesome and stuff? And bugs and birds and the rest of that garbage. Yeah, like, it doesn't hit you. It's like, and life is, it actually feels good because you know what? You know what I know is I used to blame me because all the other slaves around me used to physically and mentally beat me and tell me everything was my fault. You got your Jesus, you got your Santa Claus, you got your mother, you got your father, you got everyone around you, got the judicial system. You got them all telling you, oh, you did something wrong. And you're like, oh, it's my fault. I better go back to McDonald's. But once you stop, once you want to do something, you're like, hey, look, they're killing people on TV. Hey, look, they're enslaving people. Hey, look, it's Jeffrey Epstein. If you stop there and just like go back to McDonald's tomorrow and then come home and again, look, it's Jeffrey Epstein, look, and say, just do it your life. Like, you actually don't get the cool feeling of feeling like a slave. You're like, yeah, I'm a worker. I'm a worker now. Mommy, wow, I'm a worker now. Pull them big boys' britches up. Get to work. Work. But if you want to, I want to do something beyond nothing. There's no point to me even existing if I don't do anything of value. Like, I mean, I can be like my family and make fucking awesome ass food for the Jeffrey Epstein's family and all the richest people in my city, which is Jeffrey Epstein's family. And but I was just like, food. Like, I was always weirded out. He's always like, I mean, he gave me a lot of money. You got a lot of money from that stuff. But every time he came to me with a job, it was money. I wasn't like interested in cooking food. Like, I cook food for me. Like, I make up stuff all the time. Beautiful cook and everything. It's like, it almost like runs in our blood and stuff. Even my brother did it. And he had like hardly any association with my father running these businesses and stuff. But it's stupid to me. It's like, ooh, my life is to work. It doesn't matter whether you work at McDonald's or you work at frickin' Pizza Hut or you work at a fancy Italiano restaurante where you have to have shiny black shoes to come in. If you come in looking like a bum, they send Francois, and Francois be like, get away, you dirty bum. No bums allowed. You cannot afford to clean the carpet you just stepped on. Get out of our restaurant. I've never been like interested in any of those jobs. Like, yeah, I've worked them, but it's not like a goal in life. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, I just created fantastic food. I just created all new fantastic food. It's like you cook food like most people 3 times a day. I eat food like at least a couple times a week, I think, maybe. And, it's like after you do it a few times, it's like, ooh, I'm cooking a burger. I'm going so far in life. When I was a kid, I was going to be the last man alive, and then the planet was going to be destroyed, and I was going to be fighting the alien race off. And then I was like, hey, I'm smart enough to be with NASA. How come NASA ain't recruiting me? And then I just learned, like, you know what, like, fuck these people. Yeah, I'm not going to do anything for them. And then fuck them, everything I want to do. They're like, no. And it's like, bro, I'm smarter than you. What are you going to tell me no for? I'm a fucking 4 years old, and I'm smarter than you're going to be in 700,000 lifetimes. We got the papers to prove it. You've read the fucking papers. I've read the papers. They fucking told me. They're like, no. And then I'm like, what? No. Exactly. No, we're not going to work McDonald's and do none of that. Okay, so eventually, like, after fucking decades of research and moving on to what I thought I could do someday, I'm like, okay, it's time to run for president. It's been 10 years ago I announced this is going to happen. We're going to do this now. And then I go out there and I realize like it's completely controlled. Like the media is completely controlled. Like they have their little alien race somehow connecting with their Star David antennas connected to their neurons or something. Like they would like turn away, and then they all work together too to like fabricate a narrative. Like in the time they didn't turn away, and the one time they put me on TV, actually, the one time they put me on mainstream media, like them along with their opposition, like the people against that stuff, Alex Jones and all that stuff, the libertarian Republicans versus liberal media, like they were all there and they all worked together. And so I realized, like, and then people are like, I noticed, like, I already knew by now, like, hey, I'm being fucking gang stalked, aren't I? Like, I've had people in my life before I even knew I was going somewhere. It's like, they're with their little, yarmulkes or something, or like relaying alien information. Like you gotta watch that guy in the future. That's a very bad person. And it's very bad for our business. And I didn't know anything back then, but they were in my life. So maybe that had some sort of relation. But it's like, why'd they get there anyways? How'd that happen? Yeah, a whole nother discussion. But yeah, you're not going anywhere unless you're a monkey jumping around on stage and doing nothing. I mean, we got people talking about that now, kind of, and the second they talk about what's happening, like Ice Cube is saying like this and that, and he's like, we can't talk about that, and so like Ice Cube is still like allowed in the media, and then Kanye West, I never even listened to his music or anything, but I just know he's like famous. He's like Madonna. He's like the Black Madonna or something, right? And, Michael Jackson died. And, these things linked to people thinking people killed those people off. And I didn't think nothing of it until I got involved in politics and I realized, hey, they are killing people off, aren't they? Like, hey, they're trying to kill me off and no one even knows me and stuff. I've caught them. And, so, Kanye West saying certain things, and the second Kanye West says the proper word to describe a situation, he's gone forever. But hell, I only want to praise him because he married into these people who prevent you from going anywhere. But I don't see the point to existing on the planet where I have to be a slave. Or my choice is to be a slave or sit around and just watch TV, which is being a slave to me. I know people supposedly love that, but it's like, And there's people to blame beyond my father and mother, I think, for why I'm forced to be on this earth. But they are too.